Okay, we're not live streaming because it will not connect, but recording and then we'll film.
That sounds good. Thank you. Okay, before I call our meeting to order, I just want to send some condolences out to the family who had a family member pass away in the accident today by 2A. So, it's sad for family and anybody, friends who knew them. So anyway, just condolences to the family. All right. We're going to call the meeting in the Council of the Town of Crossville organizational meeting to order November 1st, 2022, 7 p.m. 7:02, I guess it would be. Okay, can I get a motion to accept the agenda?
I'll make that motion that the agenda be accepted as prepared.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I get approval of council meeting dates and times?
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion to approve council meeting dates and times.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, board appointments. I'm just gonna go round table here. Counselor Gustafson, I'm gonna start with you. Are you happy with your board appointments? You want to remain the same?
You bet, Mayor. I am, I'm happy with sticking with the Rocky View Foundation.
Okay, awesome. Counselor Cornelison? Are you happy with your? Counselor Fox?
Thank you.
Don't change your name again, because then I'll be really
I'm not
confused.
going to. Yes, I'm happy with my board. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, awesome. Counselor Lambert?
Deputy Mayor.
Deputy Mayor? It's gonna be one of those meetings, is it?
Nope. Yes, I'm very happy with my board. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. I'm happy with the boards that I'm on. Unless somebody wants to change, then I'm happy to help out. Counselor Brennan.
No, I'm perfectly happy here.
Okay, great. Counselor Bank.
I'm good with my board too.
And Mike will be here shortly, but looks like he gets his board back. All right, if that's the case, can I get a motion to accept the board appointments as they were?
I'll make the motion that council approves the 2022-2023 board and committee appointments.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion that council adjourn at 7:04.
Awesome. Thank you. Are you good, Lindsay, on that one? Excellent. Okay, and then just before we start our regular council meeting, I just want to do a couple housekeeping things. So I just want to make sure that all council has their phones, their sound off. And if you can adjust your microphone so they're close to you, so that you can talk into them. That way everybody in the room and everybody online can hear you a little bit better. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to call the regular council meeting of Crossville Council to order. Tuesday, November 1st, 2022 at 7:05 p.m. We would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Indigenous peoples of the Treaty 7 region and Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of the First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada, whose presence continue to enrich our community. Okay, any changes on the agenda? Just Sue, you wanted to add an item onto the agenda under in camera?
Yes, please, Mayor Harris. With respect to closed session 8.2 personnel fire services.
Anything else? Okay, if not, can I get a motion to accept the agenda with the change?
I'll make the motion to accept the agenda with change.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Hopefully, everybody's had a chance to read the past minutes, October 18th, 2022 for the regular council meeting. Are there any changes or additions to that? If not, can I get a motion to accept those?
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion that the minutes of October 18th, 2022 meeting be accepted as prepared.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, actions and decisions. Item 4.1. 2022 Fall Crossfield Recreation Board funding. Eris, looks like you're up.
Yeah, so we had our fall funding meeting for the Crossfield Rec Board on Monday, October 24th. We had 3 groups applying for funding from the Rec Board. Crossfield Minor Hockey, Crossfield Skating Club, and Rising Sun Taekwondo. Of those funds requested, we ended up, excuse me, granting Crossfield Minor Hockey $15,000 in funds on a request of $9,500. The Rec Board felt that there was enough funds for a very important program and wanted to top them up as much as they could. Crossfield Skating Club asked for $25,000, receiving $10,000. And Rising Sun Taekwondo asked for $2,600 and were granted $5,000.
Any questions for Eris?
No.
Excellent. Thanks, Eris.
You're welcome.
Can I get a motion, please, for 4.1?
I'll make the motion. I make the motion that council approves the Crossfield Recreation Board 2022 fall funding as recommended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, you're good. Okay, all in
I'm
favor.
good. Yeah, no, sorry.
Motion carries. That's okay.
I-
I was maybe a little fast for you.
Yeah, I always have to take my mute off, so it's pretty windy out here, so I have to mute my sound all the time.
Okay, great. All right, item 4.2. Seahawk Consulting schedule for fire services, CAO Keenan.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Good evening, council. With respect to background and rationale, Seahawk Consulting has been retained by the town of Crossfield to commence an in-depth review of our fire services department, and they actually are starting tonight. They're over at the fire hall right now, meeting with the members. The terms of reference and a proposed schedule are attached for council's information. It aligns with the strategic plan by ensuring that an appropriate level of public emergency services and other services are provided to meet the demands of growth, and that's one area that they'll be touching on. The recommendation for council tonight is that council receives as information the attached information package pertaining to the Fire Services Department review as presented, and a reminder that they will be meeting with council next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock to talk more in depth about the fire services bylaw and some other things that they'd like to discuss with you.
Thank you, Sue. Okay, questions for Sue on the Seahawk Consulting Fire Services review? All right, quiet bunch tonight.
Actually, I do have a question through the chair. Sue, if it's okay, I just wanted to ask a question under expenses. So is that per person for the expenses or just a general expense per day? I'm on page 5.
One moment, please. That would be per person,
Okay.
up to a maximum of $2,500 for the entire process. In talking with Jamie, I believe it will be under that, but there's 2 or 3 of them that are involved in this process. So it's based on per person. That's correct.
Okay, but it's capped at 2,500.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Any other questions? Counselor Gustafson?
Through the chair, thank you, Mayor. Sue, I guess, and this really doesn't have anything to do with the Seahawk presentation here, but My question is, you know, when they go through their whole process and they come back with their findings or suggestions or recommendations, what are the next steps beyond that? And I don't really know if we really touched on that much in the last meeting or the previous one before that.
The report will be presented to council, at which time, and it will be presented to the administration as well as the fire services. But at the end of the day, the report will be presented to council. They are very aware of the financial constraints we currently have, and that council will be identifying priorities based on not just need, but affordability. So that would be the tack that we would take in moving any initiatives or any recommendations forward at that time.
Okay, thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Okay. Can I get a motion on item 4.2, please? Here, we'll,
Okay. Make the motion that council receives the Seahawk Consulting schedule for fire services review as information.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, item 5, mayor and council business. I attended the school board meeting. I thought that went very well. We talked about the joint use agreement and wanting to review that, and how we felt that that agreement could be more joint and less one-sided. And so we'll have the opportunity through administration to have a look at that joint use agreement. And my understanding would be that we'd have a chance to review that before we agree to that new agreement. So that will be coming forward at some point in time here. In addition to that, we talked a little bit about where we are on the list for schools. Right now, we sit 11th. Both CEO Keenan and I expressed concern that Crossfield wasn't further up on the list. So things could change. We do have a school-ready site for K-8. And a lot of the other municipalities don't have that land ready yet. So we could anticipate some change there. So we'll stay tuned on that as well. Obviously, this won't come for a few years yet, but I'm glad we made the list. Also attended the rec board meeting as Eris spoke about, so I won't speak to that. And then we're off to Deputy Mayor Lambert.
I heard nothing to report.
Okay, Councillor Brennan.
I also attended the Rocky View Schools meeting with Mayor Harris, Councillor Knight, and Miss Keenan, and I thought it was very enlightening, to say the least.
Excellent. Councillor Fox.
I also attended the rec board meeting, and it was nice to be able to help support some of our community groups that need it, especially after coming out of the pandemic.
Excellent. Councillor Gustafson.
Really nothing further to report other than I do have a Rocky View Foundation. Now that I'm still on the board, I have a Rocky View Foundation meeting tomorrow evening.
Excellent. We look forward to hearing about that then.
Yes.
Councillor Mang.
I have nothing to report.
Excellent. All right, can I get a motion on item 5, please? Councillor Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make the motion that the mayor and council updates be accepted as presented.
Excellent, thank you. And if it's okay with everyone, I think we'll just hear from Councillor Knight. If he has any updates on his committee reports or anything.
No, nothing further to report.
Okay, great, thank you. So that's where we're at. We're just moving into item 6.
Would you, Mayor, through the chair, if I may, do you want me to read out the motion again and then we can vote on it?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, I move that the mayor and council update be accepted as presented.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 6.1, administrative update, CEO Keenan, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Couple things I'd like to touch on tonight, if I may. Number one, with regard to budget 2023, I will let council know that my report was crafted and submitted prior to all the meetings I've had with Amber and Municipal Affairs. So there's a slight change to number one. With regard to Municipal Affairs will now be aiding the town with a forensic audit. That is not the case. To not only account for funding, but also to determine how funding was applied across all of the financial spheres throughout the organization over the past 5 years. We've had 3 meetings with the Municipal Affairs now. We had another one today. We are also meeting with our new auditors on Friday. We've got some ideas in terms of how we're going to address some of the things and some of the shortfalls that we've indicated previously with regard to the financial stability of the town, which we'll talk a little bit more in depth with council about during the in-camera portion. So that's that one.
Hey, Sue, I'm just curious, just so council is aware, can we talk about like how much an audit would actually cost?
Yes. And this was a bit of a sore point with me when I talked to Municipal Affairs, pretty much all 3 times that we've talked to Municipal Affairs. It would cost the town of Crossfield $100,000 approximately for an audit. And it wouldn't be just a financial audit. It would also be an overall audit. One of the sticking points I had with them was why the minister previously, prior to this council being elected and my arrival here, received a petition from residents in Crossfield to move forward with an audit. And then because the previous CAO was let go, indicated that, the problem was gone. So now it probably wasn't necessary. And I said, given that that was a concern that was raised by the residents in this community, why would a minister ever do that when there is definitely indications that something's amiss? And so we were promised today in our phone call with Municipal Affairs that we would get an answer to that question.
Excellent.
And once we get one, we will bring it right back to council.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Am I good to go?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I had the privilege of attending my first board meeting with the Collicut Golf Course on Sunday, October the 23rd, and what a great group of people. To have some preliminary discussions with the board regarding the golf course lands to the south, which are town-owned, however, not within the confines of the existing annexed town boundary, albeit they are with the IDP area. And there have been some questions raised by the golf course board because they want to do some improvements and developments on those lands. We have had some preliminary discussions with Rocky View County as well as our planners to move this forward on their behalf. So moving forward, the board has agreed to participate in a tri-party MOU through various meetings to obtain viable solutions to red tape reduction, an easier development process, and assurances for development consistency moving forward. There were 3 options, and when the briefing notes are ready for council, once we've got the final agenda with Rocky View County, we will include that all in the briefing notes, which aren't quite ready yet.
Okay.
And the meeting is not until December. So we're working on a whole bunch of those things prior to our intermunicipal meeting with Rocky View County's council. And this is one of those items that's on there.
And so that will be part of our intermunicipal meeting when we go.
Correct.
And then after we have that meeting, then that's when we'll bring information back to council.
Correct. So that brings me to the next point. The meeting is tentatively scheduled for December of 2022, and I can't remember what date. I want to say the 15th,
I
but
think it is.
it's too far away really on my calendar, but I'll remember it and we'll get it to you ASAP. And finally, and I know Russ is going to touch on this in more detail with his report, but I do want to offer up some special kudos to Russ this evening for his commitment and dedication to all things health and safety related and in keeping our staff safe in the workplace. We did pass our audit, and it is a heck of a lot of work for one person. And As part of that reciprocal agreement, Flagstaff audited us. Sorry, I'm stealing some of your thunder, probably, Russ. And now we have to audit another group. Flagstaff had 4 people on their audit team. We have 1. And I think it's Peace River that we're doing, which is about 5 times or 10 times the size of us, which is a little bit ridiculous. So we will be following up with them after this particular audit season to ensure that that's changed for next year. So we're auditing as part of our reciprocal agreement, same size municipality.
Well, all I have to say is Flagstaff and maybe some other towns don't have the efficient staff that we do.
Well, I couldn't concur more.
Bring it on.
And that's it for me.
All right, Counselor Knight, you have a question?
Nope.
Nothing, you're good?
Just say it was the 14th, December.
The 14th. Okay, thank you. Okay, any questions for Sue on her report? Okay, if there's no questions, can I get a motion, please?
We got one. What?
I do have a question through the chair.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Sue, talking about the golf course, so the red tape reduction is more, is that to get that last small portion of land on the south end in the town? Am I clear on reading that?
No, red tape reduction is more to deal with having 2 planning bodies involved in the decision-making process. The MOU would address the planning situation so that the town of Crossfield, because it is our land, although the land is not annexed within our boundaries, will be the ones that will be making the planning decisions with respect to any requests that come forward from the golf course board.
And based on our planning.
Go ahead.
And based on our planning policies.
Correct.
So have we moved forward at all on getting that last piece of land annexed into the town? Or what's the plan there?
We have had.
This has been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, we've had some pretty ongoing discussions. There's a couple of things that are really concerning with going that route. One is the cost. It really is cost prohibitive to open up an annexation process again. And again, I don't know where this $100,000 keeps popping in, but that was the number that was thrown at us by municipal affairs. The second part of that is with annexation, there's always a risk, especially when you have to open it up again for public consultation, which we really don't want to have to do. And we'll explain more of that once we get all the briefing notes together.
Okay. And just to be clear as well, the only other lands that are owned by the town that are not in the annexed area is the irrigated lands. Is that correct? On the west side of Range Road 12?
Those lands are within our boundary.
So they are within our boundary.
Oh, well, no, the cemetery would be one parcel of land that's not within our boundary. And there is also a southern portion that is not within our boundary.
Okay, I guess, just, for future reference for, either us or future councils to be very aware that, making sure that all of our town-owned lands are within our annexation. So, and if at all possible, it would just make sense, right?
Absolutely.
Makes things easier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we can
now we don't-
certainly,
No, go ahead. Sorry, Meryl.
when we provide our briefing notes, we can certainly provide a rationale at that time.
Okay, yeah, just, then we don't have to go down this road of, having a tri-party MOU. So,
Totally agree, 100%.
yeah. Okay, that was my only comment. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Gustafson. All right, can I get a motion to accept the CEO, the director report? Or, do we have more? Hang on,
Please hold.
we have more. Director of Operations, Meryl.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Good evening, council. I'll give you a few highlights from my report. So as you know, October 12th was the developer open house. It was very well attended. So thank you for those members of council that were able to attend. The offsite levy bylaw. So currently administration is looking to update the existing offsite levy bylaw that is dated for 2010, as it doesn't match today's industry values. So we're working with our contracted engineering firm, MPE, and legal counsel to finalize the draft offsite levy bylaw. It is anticipated that a draft of the bylaw will be brought to the November 15th council meeting with public hearing dates to follow. Highway 574 street lighting. I have been working with Fortis Alberta relating the placement of street lighting on Highway 574 corridor from Harrison and Murdoch Street towards Range Road 12. I'm waiting for the information. Once we get some, we can start the process in starting a circulation to the residents affected. Under water and wastewater, we had a sewer service line replacement on Athabasca Street recently. The homeowner reported some problems there and there was a collapse on the town side, which has now been repaired. An aeration update. The commissioning of the system was on Wednesday, October 26th. There was a slight delay that was caused by the electrician availability and Fortis themselves. A blower technician was on site to complete a review of the blower installation in the CCAN, perform testing and provide operator training for the blowers. Once the system is, now that the system is commissioned, we're waiting for the stamp letter from the engineers and the building inspection was booked and passed. We received the notification today as well as the electrical permit. And lastly, there are a few deficiencies, which is typical whenever we have a construction project. However, Pond Pro, who is the contractor, is working on addressing all of the deficiencies so that the project is closed by mid-November.
Okay, questions for Merrill? Oh, you guys are knocking it out of the park tonight. Okay, no questions for Merrill. We'll move on.
Sorry.
Hang on one second. All right, Russ, it looks like you're up.
Thank you,
with
Mayor
Community and
Harris.
Protective Services.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Good evening, council. Nothing real earth shattering in my report here tonight, but I'll touch on a few things for you. We did submit the New Horizon for Seniors grant for healthy lifestyles for healthy aging. That was submitted late last week. We applied for the maximum amount of $25,000 to provide seniors programming in town. We had another successful pumpkin hunt on October 20th. We had over 360 participants take part in that event. And work is starting on the Christmas lights for downtown. The lights have been installed on the big tree in Banta Park, and we're working on getting lights for the light poles all the way along both sides of the road. We did scale back the project a little bit just to keep into consideration the budget cuts that we were wanting to see or freeze. So anyway, we will have more lights on Main Street this year. With the fire department, we've had some courses going on. We've got some members who have completed the theory portion of their level 1 firefighting are moving on to their practical portion. And some members have also attended wildland fire training with the town of Carstairs Fire Department. As Sue mentioned, we had our external core certification audit, which was completed the week of October 17th. It was done by Flagstaff County. The health and safety management program with AMSA is on a 3-year cycle. The first year is an external audit where another municipality comes in and audits us, and we do the same and go out and audit another municipality. And then the following 2 years are internal audits where we have to perform the audits ourselves and maintain a certain score in order to keep our certificate of recognition. So as was mentioned, I am currently working on the audit for the town of Peace River. AMSA didn't do a very good job of pairing us up this year. So like Sue mentioned, I've got a municipality that has about 4 times the number of employees that we do. So it's taking a lot of my time. So, but I am happy to report that we did pass our audit, as Sue had mentioned. I don't have a final score yet. Has to go through quality assurance yet with AMSA. But once we have that, then we can provide further update to council. We do have to receive a score of a minimum of 80% in order to pass. So got at least 80%. So, and those are kind of the highlights.
Excellent. Thank you, Russ. Any questions for Russ? Excellent. All right. Moving on, Director of Corporate Services, Lindsay.
Good evening, council. Just a quick update. The front end staff continue to support processing of permits. We sent out tax rear notice letters last week. Invoiced bulk water accounts for a total of 21,000 and statements went out on 17 past due accounts. We also sent out 6 outstanding utility accounts that were sent to collections. And as council is aware, at the October 18th council meeting, council appointed BDO LLP as the external auditors for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022 to 2024. And the approved 2023 capital budget, 2023 executive summary, and 2023 provisional operating budget, along with the 5-year operating plan, was submitted to municipal affairs last week, I believe. And there was $828,819 in accounts payable for the month of October. And that's my update.
Thank you, Lindsay. Questions for Lindsay? Okay, now it's time. Can I get a motion then if there's no further questions on item 6.2?
Through the chair, I'll make the motion that we accept the administrative and director updates as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, item 7.1, a thank you email from a resident. Nice compliment to our, oh, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. I wouldn't typically do this, but with your indulgence, I really want to speak to this letter tonight. I think it goes to the welcoming nature of the community as well as the diligence of staff. So if you'd bear with me, I'd like to read it for the record.
Yeah, sure.
Good morning, Sue. My name is Connie Knight. My husband, Tom, myself, and our 6 kids just moved out to Crossfield. Unfortunately, the sewer backed up right after move-in. I wanted to write to say thank you and express our gratitude to the town of Crossfield for the quick response to this matter. We have had the pleasure of meeting some amazing people. Joe Holstein is just a wonderful man, very kind, and took care of everything. Darnell Aldred, I think that's how you say it, has been out here every day filling the massive hole in the front yard. Dustin Helm, I believe, fixed the pipes to ensure our home is functioning, as well as the many other people involved in the project. Although it has been a bit of a mess, we have truly been very happy with the people we have met along the way and work done so far. Looking forward to being part of this great little community. Thanks again, the Knight family. And the reason I wanted to go on the record is it's not very often administration receives these types of kudos from our residents. And when we do, I really do like to take the time to highlight them.
Yeah, you know, and that's the one thing that makes our town great is the people in it, and that includes our staff. And I know that many of you go the extra mile, so it's always nice to get a letter like that. So thank you. Any other comments from council?
Great.
Excellent. Okay. If I can get a motion to accept the correspondence be filed for information, please.
Make that motion. Correspondence be filed for information.
Excellent. Thank you. And make sure we all talk into our microphone so everyone can hear. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, item 7.2, provincial health tour fall 2022. Any questions or comments on that information? If not, can I get a motion to accept that for information as well?
I'll make the motion to accept that.
Item 7.2 for information.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That leads us into item 8, closed session. Yes?
Mayor
Okay.
Harris, I'm just wondering if we could do that one after we talk just briefly about the upcoming events and programs, so we don't lose that continuity. If that's
Sure. Do you want
okay?
to close out this meeting and then go to in camera?
Sure.
Thank you. We can do that.
Mayor,
Yes.
through the chair, just, I guess, be advised that, you know, we have to, we can go into closed session, but we have to come back into a
Yeah,
regular meeting to make any motions.
that's
Because-
right.
So, yeah, I'll just want to make sure that we're all aware of that.
Okay, great. Thanks. Okay, upcoming events and programs, November 4th and 5th, Crossfield Christmas Market, December 2nd, Twinkle Fest, tree lighting, Banta Park, December 3rd, Winter Wonderland, Crossfield Community Center, and December 31st. We are not having the flight to midnight.
Correct.
So we'll scratch that, but hopefully, you know, now or in the future, a community group will be able to maybe step up and take that over as a fundraiser or something. Okay. I guess we'll go into closed session. So if I can get a motion to go into closed session, please.
You just have public in attendance, so we'll have to have.
Okay,
No.
yes. Yes, thank you.
Oh, no. Oh, one.
Yeah.
Mayor Harris, if you'd like to make a motion moving the camera, then I'll stop this recording with one camera.
Okay, I'm gonna make the motion to go into a closed session at 7:38 PM. And then Lindsay, you can just let us know when you're ready.
There's a motion passed that you go on camera.
Well, probably not. All in favor?
Aye.